What were we talking about before that?
Tom Wilson, the greatest player ever.
The greatest player ever. No, but like, so I kept talking about Raffi Torres, and I'm not comparing the two.
They're not.
Like, Raffi Torres was out there decapitating guys.
Yeah.
And you might say, well, Wilson did this and Wilson did. No, go back and watch. It's wild. And after a while, the NHL went, we are very all the way done with you.
Mm-hmm. You can't play here anymore.
Yeah. Wilson is just not quite as dirty, and he's too good.
Mm-hmm.
If the NHL has set the precedent that with Torres, a couple things. One, if you keep doing it, we're going to increase the suspension every time. And if you're not good enough, you're done in this league. Wilson has gotten no such treatment. And the one time they tried to give him the treatment, they're like, we're giving you 20 games. And he goes, no, I'm filing an appeal. And Gary Bettman goes, you're getting 20 games. No, we're going to an arbitrator. You get 14. Tom Wilson is acting the way he's been taught to act.
Yeah.
And then there was that little snippet from, is it Carpiniello, the Rangers reporter for The Athletic?
I don't know. Just what is it?
He had the little snippet that supposedly the league did not like the look of not suspending Wilson for his hit on Brandon Carlo. And Parros didn't want to suspend him at all. So the league goes, yeah, well, we don't like the look. You're getting 7 games.
Oh, my God.
There's no...
Wow.
Like, it sounds like Parros was fired when that happened. If he's not making the decisions...
Is James Dolan right? Like,
yes.
Listen,
yes.
I do not want to call James Dolan right on anything.
Is that the conclusion?
But yes.
The funny thing about all of this is so little of it is about Tom Wilson. This is the Tom Wilson incident, and yet it's not Tom. It's not even what Tom did. It's the reaction and the things that happened afterwards to what Tom did.
Yeah.
And Steve, you're absolutely right. This is, dude, he's been allowed to do it. Why wouldn't you keep doing it? He's an extremely effective, very good hockey player. Teammates love him. Fans love him. Yep. This is the kind of guy that you keep, but every once in a while he goes berserk and breaks Zach Aston Reese's jaw, or absolutely railroads Oscar Sundqvist for no reason in a preseason game. You know, these are the things that, like, you it's so funny because, you know, there'll be a bunch of Cavs fans who listen to this show and they'll be so heated that they're not actually going to hear what we have to say. I'm not mad at Tom Wilson.
They get mad.
I'm not mad at Tom. I think it was dumb what he did.
This guy. Otherwise, we love each other.
Right. Well, it's not what Tom Wilson did that's really at issue here. It's the NHL's handling of it. And I hate the fact is, and a bunch of people made this point and they're right. They're like, oh, all of you people out there who are going, heck yeah, Rangers, where were you when they weren't saying anything during Black Lives Matter? Where were their balls then? I agree.
I don't think those two things are even remotely related.
Exactly. Stop conflating them.
Well, what about?
Whataboutism.
What about? You should get what about 69 on the back of your jersey. Like, can we like make ground here?
I also want to
like all whataboutism is it just makes the earth underneath you muck. Let's move forward. Let's talk.
When you compare, let me compare 3 incidences to you guys. Okay. Number 1 is what Tom Wilson with Buchnevich and Panarin. I know the NHL doesn't see them as linked, but they're part of the same issue for me. Number 2, Buchnevich cross-checking Anthony Mantha in the face last night. Number 3, Nazem Kadri cross-checking Jake DeBrusk in the face in the playoffs.
In a game that was wildly out of hand long before that cross-check.
If you were to show each incident to a person that did not know hockey, and then show it to a person who did, but had not seen them somehow, and say, who are you giving the most games to? What do you think the average person says?
That is a great question.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to answer that in an unbiased way. I'm going to say Wilson, number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Kadri, number 2. He really cranked him.
He did. I'm not trying to diminish what Kadri did to Jake DeBrusk, to be clear here. I'm just trying to say the reaction to them, very different.
And Buchnevich on Mantha 3. I think.
And who will be suspended the most? Kadri, then Buchnevich, then Tom Wilson.
Wilson can't get lower than 0.
Yeah.
Yes, you can, said the nerds. Oh, shut up.
Tom Wilson, by the way, 3 straight 20-goal seasons. If you, because this
Great
season he had 14 goals in 44 games, so that's a 20-goal season in 82.
Great player.
Also,
no one's
Can I also
that.
say to every Capitals fan that reached out and said you'd take him on your team in a heartbeat? Yes, I would.
Yeah, he's a good player.
I'd take Kadri back. Can we have him back?
I'd love him back. Are you kidding me? I mean,
Yeah, but
it's not a thing.
Yeah, but he's going to get suspended.
Yeah, he got suspended for stuff. I thought it was very funny that Kadri has been trending basically for the past 48 hours.
Well, because it's the obvious parallel, especially in Toronto. I mean, I'm sure to Montreal fans it doesn't mean anything, but like if you're, when we're talking about violent incidences, as the Rangers called it.
With Kadri, though, there was some understanding with it, even within the Leaf fan base, that, he does keep doing shit.
Yeah.
So he's no longer going to get the benefit of the doubt. Brendan Shanahan suspended him. And that is another key thing here. Raffi Torres with the increasing suspensions. It ends in 2015. And if I'm not mistaken, that was, no, it couldn't have been Brendan Shanahan in 2015 because I think he was already with the Leafs. But the first bunch were Shanahan.
Mm-hmm.
Wilson and all of his supplemental discipline, if I'm not mistaken, is all George Parros. Maybe not the first 1 or 2, but it's mostly been George Parros. It's his job to get a lid on this.
I don't think he wants to, Steve. I think that's clear. I don't think they want a lid on this.
I don't understand. So I got a couple big yikes because, man, you're admitting that you think Wilson should get more because it's Wilson.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Kadri got more because he was Kadri.
When we were talking about it yesterday, I said, well, if OJ was suspected in a murder, you probably look into him because he has a history. When OJ went to jail,
they threw the book at him based on the charges that he was actually given.
If somebody
went to actual jail, it was like, you're not going to jail because you stole some of your artifacts back, OJ. You're going to jail because you're fucking OJ and you got off lucky the first time.
Yeah, they gave him all of these extra charges because they're like, you got away with murder that one time.
Do you know what Al Capone went to jail for, guys? Tax evasion. Yeah. Tax evasion. They gave him 30 years in Alcatraz for tax evasion?
I think you're maybe taking it to a place it doesn't need to.
No, but that's
I know what you mean.
History. That's it. He has a history.
But that's the point. It's context, right? The context of the person and their actions. That's what we're trying to say here. I'm not. Am I conflating murder with something that happened on the ice? No. And if you think that, you're an idiot.
Al Capone and Tom Wilson are the same person.
Same guy. Yeah.
I get them confused all the time.
Tom Capone. It's its real name.
Al Wilson.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look at us.
The thing is, look at us being cool.
Look at us.
The point is, I'd also like to move on to something else here quickly. Just want to say this.
Okay.
I appreciate the fact that the Rangers made the statement that they did. I also appreciate the fact that the owner said to the president and the general manager after they apparently, Davidson and Gorton both said to other general managers and officials around the league, we're not a part of this. We didn't know this was happening. Mm-hmm. I actually kind of love the fact that Dolan fired him. And I think the reason is
them, though.
we don't know that. We don't know that. That's not necessarily true.
It's James Dolan, man.
You
has a personal feud with Spike Lee.
Called the Rangers PR department and said, write this, post this. Doubt it. Davidson would have known. Had to have. And these are the same guys.
Because the social person's
beyond that, though, let's talk about context of this ownership or this management group that aided and abetted everything that Tony DeAngelo did. And Lias Anderson just doesn't want to play for you anymore. And Keandre Miller is exposed to the shit that he's exposed to. And I get you can't really put that on the Rangers, but maybe you kind of can. You can maybe put a moderator into that. There's a bunch of shit that happened with Gordon and Davidson at the helm. Yeah, they had good players. They made good draft picks, all that sort of thing. Sold at the right time, got the right draft picks that you need to get. Yes, I get that. But come on. Let's not pretend that these guys haven't fucked up royally.
I don't hate the firing simply even from the point of you wouldn't come to war with me. Like, I own this team and I'm going to put out this unprecedented statement that no franchise is doing against the guys who run the actual league. And you're not going to come to bat with me. Like, I was like, okay, if you're not going to do this at the height of this controversy, then I'll get somebody else to fucking make trades.
Yeah.
And just
for you.
Ironically, like for those two great hockey men, that is a very hockey way of looking at things from James Dolan.
Oh, yeah.
You wouldn't go to war with me. I don't need you at all. That's probably the most hockey thing that happened here.
Yeah.
But the other hockey thing that happened was somebody did something that wasn't traditional. Yeah. If Dolan put that PR statement out and Davidson and Gordon didn't know about it, the reality is he was fucking right. Parros needs to resign. He needs to resign. This is dereliction of duty. No questions asked. There's no question. And the funny part about this is that these guys, not only did they say we didn't know about it, they said we don't agree with it. We think it's wrong.
That's the key.
So the guy does this to the best player on the team. You went and you tried to sign Artemi. If I'm Artemi Panarin and I find out Jeff Gorton said that, I'd be fucking furious. Mm-hmm. Are you kidding me? Why did I sign here, you asshole? So of course he's out. Of course he's out. I don't blame James Dolan for firing them at all. You can say it was, well, he's not ready. The rebuild's not over, blah, blah, whatever. James Dolan fired those guys. Exactly what you said, Steve, because that was the last straw. They said, we're not on board, and they undermined him, and they undermined the Rangers organization at a time when the Rangers needed to full force, show force, because they knew they were going to get caved in the next game, and they were going to have to go out and fight anyway.
Exactly. So here it is. Said Jesse.
Yeah, first of all, that was Jesse. Second of all, he's
Jesse.
already looking at his team. And what happened with the Wilson thing. And he's punching Buchnevich. And he's taken my star player off the ice, who I pay $11.6 million a season. He's already done that. And he's already looking at his team and already thinking, these guys are not tough enough. They're not ready. And he's got Mark Messier whispering in his ear, fuck yeah, man. They're not tough enough. Never hold a cookie in their head. And shit like that. He's already whispering in his ear.
Glenn said there's like, I'm old and things were good in the 90s.
And then he's looking at his GM and president, and they won't go to war with him? Oh, no. The rot's gone too far. The rot's at the helm. I have weaklings. And he got rid of them. That's 100%. This is an emotional guy. This is a guy who, like, didn't he ban Charles Oakley? Like an actual New York alumni.
And he was wrong. And he got into a fight with Spike Lee. And he got into a fight with
Spike Lee.
James Dolan's not my hero.
No.
James Dolan once, the board who runs MSG had to call him in because he was going on too many gigs with his dad rock band, with his buddies. He has a little band on the side. He's a billionaire. He's running this company, and they're like, you got to stop playing live show with your damn dad rock band, James. Come run this company.